Hello students, today we will revise chapter 1, what is psychology. So what is psychology? Psychology as a discipline is a bit hard to define because of two reasons. First being that it evolves continuously, and second because the range of phenomenon it studies cannot be captured by any one definition. Therefore, in earlier times psychology was said to be derived from two Greek words, that is, psyche meaning soul and logos meaning science or study of a subject. Thus, psychology came to be known as the study of mind and soul. As we studied this subject further, the focus shifted from the study of mind and soul and tried to establish it as a scientific discipline which deals in the process of underlying human experiences and behavior. The range of phenomenon it studies became more wide and more scientific in nature. It tried to study human behavior from two perspectives, that is individual or dyadic or a group and organizational level. They also had biological as well as social science bases. Naturally, therefore, the method required to study them also greatly depended on the phenomenon one wants to study. So, if we were studying, let's say, a scientific discipline or studying psychology from a scientific discipline, we would use tools or assessment that were more objective in nature, while if we were studying psychology from the point of view of social science, we would use more subjective nature or subjective nature tools. Psychology came to known as the following definition, that psychology is defined formally as science which studies mental processes, experiences and behavior in different contexts. The first aspect of the definition of psychology is mental processes. Mental processes are said to be the experiences that are internal to the experiencing person that we refer to as states of consciousness, awareness, or mental processes. So, whenever we are thinking or trying to solve a problem, it means that we are using our mental processes. Although mental processes and neural activities are overlapping in nature, they are not identical. That means that unlike the brain, the mind does not have a physical structure or has a location. Mind emerges and evolves as our interactions and experiences in this world get dynamically organized in the form of a system which is responsible for the occurrence of various mental processes. As the consciousness of our own experiences and mental processes are much more than the neural or brain activities. The mental processes such as remembering, learning, knowing, perceiving, and feelings of interest are of interest to psychologists. Therefore, they try to study these processes to form and identify the reason and application and uses of these mental capacities. The second aspect of the definition of psychology is experiences. Experiences are subjective in nature. This means that the experiences cannot be directly observed or know someone else's experiences. Only the person experiencing can be aware or be conscious of his or her own experiences. Thus, experiences are embedded in our awareness or consciousness. Now, to understand somebody else's experience, we would require them to verbalize the experience. Now, let's say that you have gone to the doctor because you are feeling pain in your body. Now, only you are experiencing that pain. The doctor cannot understand or experience your pain for you. You can only describe to the person, describe to the doctor what you are feeling, and from your verbalization and your description of the pain, the doctor will prescribe you medications. Experiences are influenced by internal and external factors. That means that let's say that you are traveling to an amusement park on a hot summer day. You're feeling discomfort and tired because of the heat, yet you are very excited about the amusement park that you are going to. Now, from the study of experiences or the study of psychology, our interest would be, or psychologists' interest would be to analyze The complex set of internal and external conditions that are making you feel excited and tired at the same time. The third aspect in our definition of psychology is behavior. Behavior are responses or reactions we make or activities we engage in. Let's say that you are sitting in an exam and your heart starts to pound loudly. Now, behavior may be simple, complex, short, or enduring. It can be overt or it can be covert. Now, overt behaviors are the one that we can observe easily. Like, for example, that you are running. Running is an overt behavior that can be observed by everyone who is watching you. Covert behavior are internal in nature, or those cannot be observed by a naked eye. Now let's come to the previous example. Here the heart pounding is a covert behavior. Psychologists study behavior as an association between stimulus and response. That means that let's say that you are running because there's a bee, or let's say a dog who is chasing you. So you are running in response to the dog who is chasing you. So the dog here would be a stimulus and your response, that is running, will be the response. Psychology as a discipline. Psychology as a discipline seeks to understand and explain how the mind works and how different mental processes result in different behaviors. Some psychologists use scientific and objective methods, while others use subjective methods to understand human behavior and experiences. In the Indian tradition, self-reflection and analysis of our conscious experiences is held to be a major source of psychological understanding. Western psychologists have also begun to emphasize the role of self-reflection and self-knowledge in understanding human behavior and experiences. Though psychology is a very old knowledge discipline, is a young science. If were to take the year of founding the first psychological laboratory in 1987 in Leipzig, Germany. This is the picture of William Wundt with his associates in the first laboratory of psychology in 1879 in Leipzig, Germany. Neurosciences and computer sciences are two disciplines that continuously try to borrow from psychology. Neurosciences, as we all know, is the study of brain, and it is trying to study the development of the brain and brain processes through the techniques of fMRI, EEG, etc. Computer science as well as IT areas are trying to understand the human-computer interaction and artificial intelligence from the knowledge of psychology and its cognitive processes. Psychology as a discipline today has two parallel streams. One which uses the method of physics and biological science, and the other which makes the use of methods of social and cultural sciences in studying various psychological and social phenomena. In the first case, psychology considers itself as a discipline which focuses largely on biological principles to explain human behavior. In the other case, psychology as a social science focuses on human behavior phenomenon that can be explained in terms of interaction that takes place between the person and the socio-cultural context of his or her part. Psychology as a natural science. As we all know that psychology has its roots in philosophy, it was only with the help of science that the modern psychology has been able to grow. Science places a great deal of emphasis on objectivity, which can be obtained if there is consensus on the definition of a concept and how it can be measured. Psychology was influenced by Descartes and later on by the developments in physics has grown by following which is called a hypothetico-deductive model. The model suggests that scientific advancements can take place if you have a theory to explain a phenomenon. Theory is nothing else but a set of statements about how a certain complex phenomenon can be explained with the help of propositions which are interrelated. Scientists deduce or propose a hypothesis that offers a tentative explanation of how a certain phenomenon takes place. Apart from this, psychologists have also been considerably influenced by the evolutionary approach which is dominant in biological science. That means that psychology also tries to understand how our behavior or how our attachment or aggression has grown over a period of time. Psychology as a social science. Psychology as a social science discipline focuses on human as social beings. It greatly relies on subjectivity and narration of our experiences and the effect of environment, social interaction, and cultural influences. It tries to study the interaction between two people, a person with the society, a person with the culture, and the person with himself. This way, they try to understand our way of thinking, our attitudes, and our behavior towards others, ourselves, and surrounding. Thank you for watching the video. Next week, we will do understanding mind and behavior.